Juniper 9211 coming at you with another video. I was just watching a video from a channel called Team Time Writers, and 5 years ago they made a review of a specific card, one of my favorite cards um, in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Um, I've always wanted to own um, a first edition um, Ultra, the AST Gem Mint Perfect Condition Dark Magic Attack. It's a big deal for me. Um, Even though this card is hated by it belongs to the Dark Magician. Um, like imagine Jordan and his shoes, like one of the most valuable things for Jordan, his shoes. But if people hated his shoes, like this is a similar thing. Even though people say it can't be compared, it's not true. The card sucks. Um, Dark Magic Attack has one purpose. Even though the team that I have that I founded, the reason why I give cards away, all of it has to do with this card, Dark Magic Attack. Um, because the original Dark Magic Attack Ultra or was it Common or Ultra? I don't remember. Um, I think it came up Common from back in like 2004 or 5, something like that. Way, way back, I remember. I think it was given to me for free, but there was not a lot of ways to summon Dark Magician. And I thought, in the future, maybe I can help someone else because it was the card that I loved and someone gave it to me. And I was thinking, maybe I can give to people cards when I grow up. And, that's what I do now for like the last um, 10 years. I've been doing that. But this card is really slept on. A lot of the local tournament champions, Dark Magician players, and YCS regionals, they all sleep in this card. They always take this card out. They always say it sucks. I don't know in existence anyone who says this card is good. I'm being very super serious. I don't know anybody that exists, either plays Dark Magician or not, that tells you this card is good. My channel for years, for the last 3 years, I've been telling people this card is very good. Um, Even main deck, and a lot of people throw hate at me, a lot of the famous channels. But then the funny thing is, when you go to their channel, they did poorly at locals, they did poorly YCS at regionals, and the reason why is because they were missing this card. And you're thinking like it can't be the card. Yeah, it is the card, because when they tell you the truth, they tell you I couldn't win because I couldn't destroy back row. They all have the same issue. If you don't want to put this card in the main deck, at least put it on the side deck. So I'm going to show you a few combos. It is my favorite card, Dark Magic Attack, and that's how I sign off. And like I said, I seen it on Team Time Riders 5 years ago. He was commenting on it, and he's not a Dark Magician person, and it made me think about making the video to show you just some combos that people don't really know about, don't talk about. They don't even know how to use the card. They don't even, it's funny, they hate a card and they don't even know how to use it. Typical people that don't know what they're doing. Um, so the way that you utilize the card is the correct way, like above all things, is you're supposed to be playing it with Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul says you can get a Dark Magic Attack from your deck to your hand. Like, that's OP. A Feather Duster, searchable. So people are thinking like that's not good enough. But actually it is, because you can combo it off with here, with the one of the most hated boss monsters ever. People hate Dragoon. First of all, because they couldn't afford him, and then second of all, um, because yeah, people just hate them. That's how people are. You already know on my channel, I tell you the truth. When somebody says hate, it means they can't beat it. Basically, they suck. Because if the cards were easy to beat, they wouldn't tell you they hate it. They would say they love it because it's a cheap card to defeat, right? but because they can't defeat it, they'll turn around and tell you they'll turn around and tell you that um, yeah, they'll turn around and tell you that the card sucks. So the correct way to use it, I had already shown you guys before, but I'm sure a lot of people are new to the channel. When I really made this video was maybe like 9 months ago or something. But the way you use it is you have Dragoon on the field, and when you have Dragoon on the field, um, you don't have a card to discard to Omni negate, because a lot of times you're playing against competitive people like at your locals, YCS, and to be honest with you, you're top decking, so you don't have any cards in your hand. So guess what? When you end your turn or in the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, you can activate Eternal Soul. You can draw Dark Magic Attack to your hand, and guess what? All of a sudden, you have a card to discard. So now you can trigger it. Now you can trigger the Omni Negate with Dragoon. You didn't have a card to use the effect, but now you do. Dark Magic Attack goes straight from your deck to your hand, and all of a sudden you have a card to discard to Omni Negate to make them 4,000. So that's one way to use it. That's how I use it. The other way to use it is with the less OP card, the Dark Magicians. So the way that you use it with him is you summon him. It's either your turn or your opponent's turn. It doesn't matter. Like let's say it's your turn and you activate a spell. Like it could be any of these cards. What you could do is if it's in the graveyard because you had already used it, you can stack it with Soul Servant, and then when you stack it, you can chain to not activate the effect through Soul Servant, but you can chain to the Eternal Soul to draw it to your hand from there, and then from the graveyard you can remove that to draw 2 cards if Dark Mission draw in your graveyard. Then afterwards you can trigger his effect to draw another card. So you drew 1 through this, and then 2 through this, and then 3, 4. So you drew 4 cards, and I do that a lot. People don't notice on my videos, but I draw 4 cards. That's why I draw so many cards, and people always tell me like, dude, why do you have so many cards in your hand? And that's the secret, that I know how to use the cards. I'm not like everybody else that doesn't know how to use them. I'm drawing a bunch of cards and people don't notice. So yeah, that's the thing. You can use I've used Dark Magic Attack in a Meg Knight deck against the Meg Knight deck at locals, and I played it and they negated it, and then I just chained after that to play Soul Servant, stacked it, drew it again, and used it twice and I cleared the back row. So believe me, and I won. So that's another way to play Dark Magic Attack, because remember, by triggering the effect of Eternal, a spell or a trap, because sometimes you have this field that will automatically let you draw the Dark Magic Attack, and then he'll activate and you'll get to draw another card. So that's another way to do it. And then another way to do it would be if you have Super Poly and you have nothing to discard, you can trigger Eternal, and that'll automatically let you get Dark Magic Attack, and all of a sudden you have a card to discard to activate your Super Poly. And another way to do it with the Eternal Soul is having the Apprentice Illusion. You don't have a card to discard, trigger it, Dark Magic Attack to your hand, all of a sudden you have a card to discard. So you're starting to notice that it comes clutch. And then sometimes you have a Dark Mission in the graveyard and you need to special him. Let me get the Dark Magician. I'm trying to find him on the pile. Where is he? Oh, there you are. So what you do is you activate to summon the Dark Magician, and then you're thinking, well, I already used the effect. Well, you can bring out Rod. You can either search Soul Servant and then get the Dark Magic attack like that. Or you could just straight from Rod go. You can search through the Rod Dark Magic attack. And honestly, sometimes this came on clutch for me, to be honest with you. The Rod can search out Dark Magic attack and then you can activate it right there and blow up the back row. So that's another combo uh, that you could do. And then the other one that is not so common. Sometimes I want to go ahead and draw some cards. So what I'll do is I'll activate, send the Dark Magician to the graveyard, and then I'll make the Eternal Life to bring him back right with to bring the Dark Magician back. So I'll bring him, and then if I have a spell like usually Magician Salvation, then I'll trigger the Eternal Soul, and then I'll draw, and then I'll use this card that I didn't have, because remember, it's all about not having the card, and all of a sudden you have a card. So then I activate it. If you needed to blow up the back row, before I get too carried away, a combo would be Magician Souls to Dark Magician. So then you skip this because you haven't used it, and then from there Eternal Soul activate and blow up the backfield. So this is a really sick combo. It's Magician Soul comboed off with Dark Magician and Eternal. So you're getting the Dark Magician of the Magician Souls and then Dark Magic attack from Eternal. So you can blow up the backfield that way. You get the Dark Magician plus the Dark Magic attack. But the other way that I wanted to show you was Dark Magician, the graveyard, special summon souls, and then with another spell or trap on the field or in your hand. Usually, like I said, Magician's Salvation. What I do is I'll trigger it, get Dark Magic attack, and then I'll activate the effect of Magician Souls, and then I discard both the Salvation and the Dark Magic attack, and I draw 2 cards. Because you have to remember, you can always get Dark Magic attack back with Soul Servant, right? So that's what people don't understand. So these are a few variations that I know 100% no one's ever taught them to you. You've never seen them, and the reason for that is because no one plays it. Everyone hates Dark Magic attack. But then at the end of the road, they all lose because they don't play it. They might not admit to you, but there's a few honest people, and you know what? The honest people will tell you, honestly, I needed a Dark Magic attack. People will tell you that. The people who are honest, the liars, they won't tell you, but the people who are honest, they will tell you. Even Loza told me, when I told him you should have used the Dark Magic attack at least on your, I have some other friends too, but at least on your side deck, and he said, yeah, I should have. And a lot of other people too that I know, good friends of mine and people that I've seen do some cards. Some cards you don't want to main deck, then don't main deck them. But I've always said this, and I stick to that fact. Wise words. It is better to have and not to need it. Okay, it's better to have it and not to need it than to need it and not to have it. Did you catch that? So that's some words of wisdom, because it's better to have it either in your main deck and not need it, but that's not going to happen because I use it all the time. Or if you have it in your on your side deck, it's better to have it there and never to need it than if you were to need it and not have it. And that goes for everything in life. You're going to want to apply that principle. Believe me, it's better to have it and not to need it than to need it and not have it. Because needing it and not having it means you lose. But having it and not needing it means you're prepared, you're wise. It's there for whenever you do need it. So this is going to be one of those rare moments where I say it, but I also have it. With that having been said, Dark magic attack.